Hello and welcome to the first 2018 World Cup match preview, brought to you in the style of Blackburn Rovers Seas. That's right, I'm going to be reviewing each one of the World Cup games, starting right here, right now, with the opening match between the hosts, Russia and Saudi Arabia. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, but we're not looking at Blackburn Rovers whatsoever. We're looking at the teams that have headed out to Russia. I'm going to start right here, right now, with the opening match, which is Russia up against Saudi Arabia. We'll talk more about that in just 1 second, but if you are new to the channel, whether you are a Rovers fan or a World Cup or international football fan, you might as well hit the subscribe button. I'll keep you bang up to date with all things World Cup related, and just want to make sure that you are aware about this show, because it's not just my opinion, it's not just about the cat's opinion. I'm actually bringing in international fans live via Skype or Facebook Messenger, all that kind of good stuff, and get to hear their opinions. So this is not just a one-man band, baby. We're bringing in faces, voices from around the world. I'm going to start right here with the Russia game, but we'll talk more about those guys in just a second. But right now, let's take a little bit of a background look at the match. So the match will take place on the 14th of June in the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Now again, my pronunciations of such of these names is going to be pretty brutal, so I do apologize. Anyway, let's take a look at the hosts, Russia. They are managed by Stanislav Cheshashov. How did they get there? Well, they actually, I don't know if they got it legally, but they're hosts. They are hosts, and they secured their position as hosts way back on 2nd of December 2010. This will be their 11th tournament for Russia as a whole, because obviously they've appeared as a USSR. They've also appeared as the CIS. But right here, today, they're coming in as Russia. Their last tournament was back in Brazil 2014, and their best place finish was 4th all the way back in 1966. Now, you can get odds on Russia winning the World Cup at 40 to 1. Would I recommend that? Probably not. Anyway, let's take a look at their oppositions today, and they are taking on Saudi Arabia, and they are currently managed by Juan Antonio Pizzi. How did Saudi Arabia get themselves to Russia? Well, they finished as runners-up of the AFC third round Group B, that's right, and they secured their qualification back in the 5th of September 2017. This will be their 5th tournament, their last being 2006, which is their, what was that? Was that Germany? I think that was Germany. Anyway, their best place for finish was a last 16 berth during one of their previous tournaments, and they can get odds on Saudi Arabia winning the World Cup at 1,000 to 1. Now, have these two sides met in previous international football? Yes, they did. Way back on the 6th of October 1993, Saudi Arabia versus Russia, and Saudi Arabia won 4-2, and it was a friendly. So let's take a look at Russia's schedule for the tournament. Obviously, they start with the opening match of the tournament as a whole up against Saudi Arabia, and that is on the 14th of June. Then they will take on Egypt at 19th of June, and that's at the Khrushchevsky Stadium in St. Petersburg. And they'll wrap it up on the 25th of June in the Cosmos Arena when they take on Uruguay. After that, they'll have to wait and see if they qualify for the second round. So let's take a look at Saudi Arabia's schedule for the tournament. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier. It's the opening game, 14th of June, up against Russia. Then they take on Uruguay on the 20th of June, and that's at the Rostov Arena in Rostov-on-Don, and they'll wrap it up with a match against Egypt on the 25th of June, and that's in the Volgograd Arena out in Volgograd. So that's just a bit of a general background of this match, and what are my initial thoughts on this? Well, it's a big one. It's a big one for Russia, and it's a big one for the tournament. Obviously, the hosts like to get themselves off to a good start, and they've got themselves a good group. I don't see any real runaway leaders in this group, so it's doable for them, and it's a doable position for Russia to actually go out and win this group and give themselves a good chance in the knockout phases. But first and foremost, they've got to beat Saudi Arabia, and they ain't no pushovers. So it's going to be a tough one, but you'll hear more about my prediction and verdicts after we've heard from our special guests. So the opening game of the World Cup is just around the corner, and it's the hosts up against Saudi Arabia. I'm joined live via Skype with a couple of Russians who are obviously out in Russia. Here they are. If you'd like to say hello to the world, maybe introduce yourself.
Hello to the world, what we're gonna say. So first of all, let us tell what we feel as supporters of our team, okay? Because sure, we are here for our nation. Sure, we are really proud that this World Championship coming to us. I think it's first time, good with us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the first time, so it's such a great things, and everybody expecting, exciting, and we are really, really waiting and everywhere. Are you there?
I'm there. I'm there. You're doing good. Doing good.
So you see even female and male and everybody, and even the child and the dog and the cat, everybody, I think. But seriously, we are all expecting, we can't wait to look at our watches, and we are waiting because it's about to start. And what are we gonna say? Sure, we want to become a winner, but
Don't
we
we all?
are
Don't we all? We all want to win. Yep. Yep.
every country dream about it.
Of course. Of
But
course.
we are realistic people, yeah, and we hoping to go as far as we can. At least at the second tour, at least semi-final, probably.
Ooh, exciting.
Maybe God hear our prayers.
Yep. Yep. So your group, you do have, it is quite an open group. I think everyone has a chance to qualify from your group. It still is so close.
Yeah.
If you look at the other teams, if you could take one player from one of the other teams, who would you take? Who would you give a Russian passport? Say maybe from Uruguay, take what's his name, the striker. I don't know, but if you could give one player a passport for Russia and say you're now playing for Russia, who would it be?
Okay. Какого, допустим, самого лучшего игрока ты бы взял из другой команды, из тех, которые играют из нас, ну, вот против нас?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a difficult question.
It's
So difficult.
We will change almost all of our players to others, but okay. We will choose just one. Кого? Из Уругвая, например, кого бы ты взял? Или из Египта? Вот этот Мухаммед, как ты говоришь?
Salah and Suarez.
Suarez, good one. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. Good pick. I couldn't think of him, but you brought him in. Okay, so Russia has a good history of football. They've been a real big powerhouse in the past. Now, if you could go back in time and take a Russian player from the past and bring him into the current day, who would you pick?
We will choose. We already prepared some things.
That's
We will
fine. That's
choose,
good.
maybe you heard about them. We're not sure. Paulus.
Okay.
And Denisov. There are two players which are quite really strong, and I think we will be more successful if we might have them now, and we will be more powerful and stronger because they're really good players, and we don't really know. We feel pity that we cannot choose them now and we cannot see them now, but we'll see. Maybe
besides those, you do have 23 players that have been picked for Russia. Now, we're getting closer now, but if you could choose, or your starting 11, who's going to be in goal? Who's going to be the rest of the team? Your 11 players to start the first match.
For the first match.
For the first match.
For our players.
For your players, right now.
Coach.
We think that our coach is quite professional person, and he will choose better than we are. So I guess he will choose the best players for the first match against Saudi Arabia, and I think we will see quite a good game, at least at the first match. And tell you honestly, we think that we are much better than Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and probably with Uruguay we will play even, probably. But we're hoping that it's not really strong teams we play against, so we'll see. We cannot tell you the names.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Okay, so as we get closer, how about a quick guess at what the score will be on Thursday? Well, how many goals will Russia score? How many goals will Saudi Arabia score? What's the score going to be?
For the first match or all together?
Just the first one.
For the first match, we think we're gonna win 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Now,
prediction.
Yeah, it's a good prediction. It's not too crazy. It's not too modest. It's good. Now, in your group, there's another game going on. Uruguay against Egypt. They two play. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
We think Уругвай против Египта, как вы сыграют? 3-1.
3-1 for Uruguay.
Forward, Uruguay.
Okay. Now we're getting, the game is getting closer. If you want to give them a bit of a motivational speech, the Team Russia, give them a last minute.
Sure, we will try to do it together, but I'm not sure actually.
You could do it in Russian if you like.
Russia go! Russia go!
Become the
winner is your goal!
Perfect. You cannot get better than that. That's a great way to start these videos. Now, I just want to say that I met these two lovely people on Telegram, and if you want to check out their channel on Telegram, I'm going to stick a link in the description below, and then you can catch up with these guys, and then maybe even become a member and all that kind of stuff, so that, give these guys a, they're there to help. They're there to help in Russia. They'll be able to help you, show you around the place. If you're just stuck, maybe you need directions to something. They're here. Isn't that right?
Okay, there we go. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Thank you. So we've heard the Russians' point of view. Now, what about their first opposition in this tournament, the Saudi Arabians? Well, I've got a special guest joining me right here, now, on the phone or on Skype. Here he is. Just introduce yourself to the world. Tell them your name and maybe something a little bit quirky or interesting about you.
Hi, my name is Osama, and I'm an incoming freshman at Penn State. Something bizarre about me is that my younger brother is 15 years younger than me.
Okay, let's switch gears now. Let's talk about the World Cups. Obviously, kicking off shortly in Saudi Arabia. You do have the honour to join Russia and kicking off the tournament. So in the Group A, I find it quite a difficult one to determine. So, but out of the three nations, which game do you think Saudi Arabia must win in order to keep their World Cup dream alive?
I think Russia. I think because it's like the first game that we have to win. Egypt is like a kind of it can either go either way, but I think we're definitely going to struggle against Uruguay. But I think Russia will have the greatest chance of making the greatest impact on our journey.
Okay, so yeah, and it is always good to get off a great start. If you can get a win, then you never know if you can pull out a couple of draws and you might scrape on through. So in your opening match, you do take on Russia. So what concerns you the most about them?
I think they're it's not about them. It's more about us, because our team had like multiple coaches in the past 6 months. Like our newest coach has been with us for like 2 months. So we don't have constant training and management.
It's a good point of view. I like the way you flipped that around and turned it on yourself. So it's a good strategy. And so in Group A, there are obviously some key, huge worldwide players. Now, if you could have the special power like a magic wand, and you can turn one of them into a Saudi Arabian player and give them a passport to play for Saudi Arabia, who would you swipe from one of the opposing nations?
Mo Salah.
Mo Salah, even with the dodgy shoulder.
I mean, is he supposed to play? And do you know if he's supposed to play or?
The rumor has it right now. The Egyptian FA say he's going to make it for the first game. So I guess it's a good point.
Yeah.
He is on fire. He might have had a bad Euro final, but he's still a phenomenon, and he had a great season. So I could see why you would choose him, but there are still some other gems in there. So if you could go back in time, if you had a sort of time travel device, maybe the TARDIS or the DeLorean, if you could go back in time and take somebody from Saudi Arabia's World Cup past, who would you take and why?
Samuel Jabir. He's one of our best players in Asia. He's been awarded multiple times, and I think FIFA is supposed to award him the next upcoming months.
So how obviously my knowledge on Saudi Arabian football is minimal. So he's long retired, or how long? When did he play last?
I think he retired about a few years ago, and now he's one of the coaches at one of the best teams in Saudi Arabia.
Anyway, so obviously the big game opening up the tournament. So what's your score predictions for the Saudi Arabia-Russia game?
I want to say 2-1 to us. For us.
It's doable. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in the World Cup. And this is, Russia aren't all that. They're very. I think I just got the world rankings. I think they are classed as the lowest ranked team in the World Cup right now. So yeah, they're there for the taking.
Like considering today's game between Saudi Arabia and Germany, I mean we still lost 2-1, but we did way better than I expected.
I did see that game happening. I saw it was 1-0. I didn't actually catch the result, so that is a surprising result. 2-1.
Yeah.
You know, they could have stuck to 6 past you, but finally we're going to wrap it up now. Now, obviously, big game, just a couple of days away now. Give them a last minute promotional or motivational speech to get them over the line. Just go boys.
Falcons. Yeah. Go Falcons.
There we go. Yes. Okay. So he's optimistic. He's got the right frame of mind. Obviously, Saudi Arabia are huge underdogs in the tournament. But yeah, football is a funny old game. Anyway, so hopefully we can catch some reaction from you after the game when Saudi Arabia come home and bring home all 3 points and really turn this group on its head. Correct?
Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, so we'll let you go for now.
Bye.
Now you've heard what the fans about to say. What has the cat got to say? Let's take a look at what Cast the Cat thinks will happen between Russia and Saudi Arabia. So Cast the Cat has opted for Russia in this opening match. If you're unfamiliar with Cast the Cat's work, as well head over to my YouTube channel. She's predicted each one of the World Cup games, starting with the opening game, all the way through to the last group game. She'll be doing the knockout phases when they come. And speaking of Cast, she's also got an app out there. I don't want to keep pumping this out, but I'm gonna. It's a 100% free app. No ads, no nothing, no in-game payments. It's just a fun game. It's actually a predicting game. So, might as well just check it out. There is a link to that game at the end of this video and also in the description below. Now I guess you're wondering, what's he doing with a massive bear head on his shoulders? Well, I've heard what Team Russia have to say. I've heard what Saudi Arabia have to say. And I've also seen what the cat has predicted. It's time for my prediction, and right now, this is who I think is going to win the first match. I've opted for Russia. That's all I've got for you today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'll keep you bang up to date with all things World Cup related. I am also on Twitter and Facebook. Links to those platforms in the description below. I also want to say that I'll be doing an instant match review once this game finishes. Once you hear the final whistle, I'm going to be online within 15 minutes with my initial thoughts on the match, and I'll be doing a detailed review later on in that day with reaction from my buddies that we spoke to earlier. So a lot to look forward to, and also we're going to be doing this for each one of the World Cup games. Obviously, fingers crossed I'll be able to pull through and do all these, but it's a big old task, big old order, so please come back and check them out. So fundamentally, I think Russia need to win this game to get this tournament off to a cracking start, because I think if they stumble and they lose, or even a draw, and they're going to be having serious questions to see if they can actually stay in this tournament for the long haul, because I think a win will give them a good boost, good opportunity to get into the second round and actually keep the buzz going in the country. That's a major, major factor in any World Cup, is the host trying to stick around for as long as possible. For me, obviously I did predict Russia will win this one. I think they will. I think they'll get through to the second round. And that's probably where their journey will end. But hey, that's just an ambitious prediction. A lot of football is going to happen between now and then, and you can catch my reaction and thoughts, and from fans from around the world. I've done a lot of hard work trying to find these folks, so you can catch them right here at Blackburn Rovers season. Anyway, so till next time, thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Now, if you are interested in that Cast the Cat app, you want to hit that button right there. It'll send you over to my WordPress site where you can find a downloadable link. Also, if you've yet to subscribe to the channel, hit that magical button right there. This is your one-stop shop for the 2018 World Cup. I've also got old previews and reviews that you can check out down there. And also let me hear your thoughts and opinions. Whack them in the comment section below, and I will see you all very, very soon.